was the objective on the final kick?
Yeah.
And how did that go?
Yeah, obviously we felt really good with Riley kicking the one. Did a great job of obviously then they had to start at the 20-yard line. Then the conversation afterwards was, okay, do we kick it again? They're probably going to end up playing for it. They moved the returners up. We thought we could maybe hit it over them and have the returners going back up a little bit, which they end up doing, and they got a good return on us. We obviously don't want that to happen. We've got to do a better job of shedding blocks and going to make tackles. But that was kind of the thought process. Yeah, it was in play, but, hey, we figured that they might go and play that, move those guys up. Maybe we can hit them over. And Riley's been hitting the ball really well and getting placement, which is what we're looking for sometimes, getting the ball outside the numbers, and he's really doing a great job of that. We just got to cover better.
So where he caught it around the one, right,
yeah,
is actually
perfect.
Really good. Okay.
Perfect. You want them, how we look at it sometimes is we need to have the returners make a decision, right? Because now you're seeing a lot in the league with returners actually going backwards to catch the ball. And then when they do that, sometimes their momentum takes them into the end zone. And now there's a couple of different ways to look at it. If they catch the ball before the goal line and they go back in the end zone and take a knee, it's at the 20-yard line. If they catch it, obviously, in the end zone, take a knee, it's at the 35. So we kind of want to get him in a place like that. I thought the kick was great. We just got to cover better.
Greg, it seemed like Willie Gay had some problems with 92. Can you explain kind of the difficulties or transition of a defensive player having to block in the open field on special teams like that?
Yeah, that's stuff that they got to learn throughout. Usually like a tight end, running back, those guys obviously understand how to block and do a bunch of different things like that. But that's stuff that we go over in the off season and training camp of, hey, we've got to work on leverage, how to end up putting our hands on guys, not really opening up our hip and our shoulders to make them just go and run and get vertical. We want to try to widen those guys out a little bit more. That'll be a point of emphasis again today, just like it was yesterday when we just talked about, hey, if we have a certain amount of leverage, we can't allow these guys just to get an edge on us and work vertical. I thought, some of the times Willie did a good job on 92, and then sometimes 92 got the best of Willie, but we'll continue to work on that and try to get better at it.
We're now 7 weeks into the season. Are you surprised that Jason Sanders is not back yet? And has Riley exceeded expectations?
Yeah, I mean, with Jason, I just want him to be healthy and get back ready to go. Whether it's any type of week, we want what's best for the player. And what's best for the player right now is taking it day by day, week by week. And when he's ever ready to go, we'll be excited to have him back. Your question about Riley, yes, I think he's done an outstanding job for us, going in there, making field goals. He missed the 57-yarder, but I was really proud of him coming back, getting on the left hash, making a big field goal for us. That was big times. Some guys can go in the dumps when they miss a field goal, but Riley was ready to go and kick one. The other part of the dirty ball that Joe was talking about, when we talk to Riley about hitting them, like this guy's fired up and ready to go. So we trust Riley. We trot him back out there again to try to make a long field goal too, because that's how much confidence we have in him.
Greg, there be any concerns that Jason close to returning, or you think it's a ways away?
I don't know. That's for our trainers to decide with Jason. I know Jason's doing really well right now. He's working his tail off of trying to get back. That's the one thing I noticed when I first met Jason, and just started talking to him about his drive and what he wants to do. I'm sure he'd love to go out there and kick right now. But this guy I know is going to work extremely hard to get back, and if it's at any point in time when he's ready, we'll be happy.
Any concern that he could come back to kicking the same way he was coming back from this injury?
No, I think Jason's got a lot of confidence. We have a lot of confidence in Jason. It's going to be depending on when he gets back and then he starts kicking and seeing how that thing goes. But I know he's got the utmost confidence in himself to make field goals and be ready.
And I guess one last question on this. Barring a setback, do you expect he will kick for you this year?
Again, I'm not sure. I just don't know if there's a timeline for it. Again, that's going to be with the trainers and things like that. Those guys will talk about it. And again, it's whatever's best for Jason. That's what we want.
Greg, with a forecast of possibly heavy rain and a lot of wind with nasty gusts, how can you prepare for that?
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. I had water bottles out there yesterday to practice some, wet ball drills and things like that. We'll do that again today. We've got to make it somewhat similar. Now we can't have a bunch of people blowing the wind and stuff like that, but wet ball stuff that we can end up doing, putting the ball in water, things like that, the handling of it with the returners, the handling of it with our punter, not only on the punts but on the field goals. We're going to be working some type of drill, and we're going to still do it with Joe, the long snapper, Cardona. We'll be working a wet ball drill with him too, because obviously he'll have to have a good grip on the ball to end up snapping it for us.
How can you prepare for the wind? Because there's like just a different angle.
Yeah, that's why we got to get out there early. That's going to be the biggest thing. Having those guys out there early, understanding which way the wind is. It a left to right, right to left, or is it going to be on your back? Is it going to be towards you? And those are the things that we'll have an open dialogue with the kicker and the punter, myself and Mike. Because that's a lot of things that could happen. Hey, Mike, we might not be able to kick a 55-yard field goal here into the wind. Hey, Mike, it's got a really strong left to right wind. We might need it on this hash at this certain time. So that'll be an open dialogue that we'll have during the course of the game and before the game too.
How much has a guy like Elijah Campbell missed during, when you have one of those long kickoff returns?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. He's been a great player for the organization here for quite some time. I thought he was really coming along, making some big plays in the Carolina game. So obviously when you have a really good football player that misses any time, it hurts. But I thought the guys like Jordan Colbert, Isaiah, guys like that end up stepping up. We still have some veteran players that, can step up and make those plays. We also didn't have KJ Britt. Those are the things that younger guys now get an opportunity to step up and showcase their talents and, make plays on special teams.
You're right about special teams. And I think he explained to me that when he was up, he was a backup. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
he was not starting on any special teams group. What would he need to do to become a reliable special teams contributor?
Yeah, this was good because Jalen Wright had one of his better practices yesterday on special teams for us. We talked to him about earning a spot, and I thought he really ended up taking that to heart yesterday and went in on the look rush team, gave us a bunch of different looks, really good looks. In fact, he almost came close to blocking a punt. So happy and excited for him to understand that, hey, you want to play on special teams. If it's not working out on offense or defense or whoever it is, they got to work their way and find an opportunity to make plays on special teams too.
Among all the big special teams plays we've seen this season from all around the league, I don't think we've seen very many fakes, have we? Why is that?
It's probably a bunch of different things. It could be the head coach's philosophy of, hey, why would we run a fake where we have really good offensive players on fourth down and we can trot them out? Now, the element of surprise is a little bit different, but I think you saw one last week with the Jets and the Broncos that they end up getting. It depends on the head coach's philosophy on what he wants to do. You're right, I haven't seen many fakes this year. That doesn't mean that they're not up. Maybe that people just don't like a look that they end up doing or seeing throughout the course of the game too.